Hello dear students. After a long time I could make a class because of lack of time I could not come up. So I was planning to go for a revision of chapter 1 and 2, and I think so I can cover this in two lectures, chapter 1 and 2 of class 12 physics, that is electrostatics. The first thing you have to remember in exam point of view, what makes positive charges, what are the substances that make positive charges, and what are the substances that makes negative charges. So the colors are distinct here. This blue colors are actually indicating positive, and this red color is indicating negative. These are the negative material which can create negative charges when rubbed into. That means silver and glass will have some interaction. Mica and gold or platinum or synthetic rubber has got some interaction. If you rub steel on wood, that won't work. Some of them, for your board exam, especially in entrance, very less questions of this category is asked, but in board exam, very often these type of questions are asked. So cotton is one of the very important substance. Wood is another very important substance. Scaling wax, amber, rubber balloon, hard rubber, then copper, silver, nickel, UV resist is also one that is used in car or sunglasses, and you have aircraft glasses, and maybe sulfur and all are very highly chemical. Mostly they don't ask question. Yes, cellophane tape, this is also asked. And then you talk about these are very common actually. Polyethylene, this is also asked, and silicon, Teflon, and silicon rubber. These things are asked mostly in the question of negative items, and when we rub them with positive items like human hand or skin, asbestos, rabbit fur, this is very common. Rabbit fur, human hand, glass, human hair, these are very common actually. Mica is not so common but asked normally, and wool, lead, nylon, and mica also sometime, and cat fur. These things are very common. In positive list they have given very less name. See, aluminum is also a metal, but it can create positive nature when rubbed with these materials which are red in color. So these type of questions are very often asked. So always keep these lists. Some of the tick mark one should be remembered, that this will make to negative and this will give to save your time. Otherwise you have to estimate actually on what we have positive and on what we have negative. It depends on the property of the substance. We strictly cannot say the solid, liquid, or gas will be positive or negative. We cannot say metal will be positive or negative, because you can see exceptions are there. Aluminium being metal, it remains positive, whereas other elements, metals, are listed in the negative list. So anyway, after this, this is one type of question they can ask you, and after that we have another type of question in first chapter, which are very common in board exams and sometime in entrance very often. Say first question is saying these all are questions from NCERT or standard previous years questions. So I'll discuss them. For example, here the first question says, how can you charge a metal sphere positively without touching it, without any physical touch? You have given a metal sphere like this. Remember, when you are given a sphere, it is not charged means it has got equal number of positive and equal number of negative charges in it. When you bring some negative, how you do without physically touching it? You bring some negative charged particle close to it. All its negative positive charges will get attracted towards this side, and negative charges goes that side due to repulsion. Now next step, this is first you are given a sphere, you bring a negative charge body nearby it, and you get the positive charge separated out. Now you connect these to a negative earth. All electrons will drawn to earth, and only positive will be remaining. When positive will be remaining here, you remove this negative external foreign source, you are left with only positive charges in it. So this is how you, without touching, you can make a sphere to be positive when it is nothing is charged in it. And gold leaf electroscope, very rarely they ask question. To verify this, to test whether this is any charge in this, positive charge, negative charge, we can also use gold leaf electroscope, by which we can easily identify the substance. Next question, they are asking you if this is very interesting and very commonly asked question, if two spheres of radius r of same material, see, very important term is same material. If material would have been different, story would have been altogether different. So they are saying of same material, two spheres of same radius, actually radius is r, or they can also same radius r, and this is my r, and charge in one is plus 120. This is in 120 coulomb, and in this is minus 99 coulomb. You connect this and separate out, disconnect it. Once you connect this, this becomes 120 plus 120 minus of 99. So how much is left? They will eat up. So 99 minus 99 will eat up plus 99. So if 99 is gone from 120, you are left with how much? This is what we talk about. How much is the value? 99 is gone, so less than 100, 1 less than 100. So it will take it to be how much? This is 20, so 99, so 1, 19. You have 19 left, if I am not wrong. Yes, I'm sorry, I think so I have done mistake in calculation. From 20, if you would have gone with 20, then sorry, this silly calculation sometimes creates problem. I have done a mistake in this, so let me redo it. So from 20, if you subtract 20, it's intact, and 1, so 21 is the value remaining. Now 21 charge, and that is of course positive. This has to be distributed in both. When 21 is to be distributed, we are leading to a concept what we call as quantization of charges. Very important concept, quantization of charges. Means quantization of charges. That means the charges cannot be in fraction. But you have 21, and here they are saying the radius is same, material is same, so charge distribution should be equal to both. But that is not the story. It cannot be. It cannot be 10. In one it can be 10, in another it can be 11. Because 11 plus 10 will make it 21. So in that case, one of them will be having 10 and another will be having 11, because it cannot be 10.5, 10.5. In no case, charges will remain as 10.5. It will be impossible. Fractional values are not entertained for charges. So answer here will be either one of them is 10, other is 11. Either of them can be 11 or 10 depending on the situation. So this is the one way numericals can be asked on this chapter. Numericals will make your basics very sound, and your understanding of the various concepts will be another type of question. Dependent on the same type I discussed right now, that is quantization of charges, where the formula you use as Q is equal to NE. What does it mean? When we say Q equal to NE, Q is the charge, N is the number of electrons, and E is the electron. So E value is always known to you, 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. You have to remember this always. Coulomb is the charge of an electron. So this is one in a single electron. If you take hydrogen atom, we have N equal to 1. If you take helium, N will be equal to 2. So depending on the substance, number of N will be changing. Now, but in no case N can be fractional, because N has to be either 1, 2, 3, 4 something. It will be never and never it will be fractional number. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but never 2.5, never 1.2, 1.3. Nothing fractional will come in this. So we are going to verify this. Can a body have a charge of this amount? Fine. They are giving Q. So Q they have given is equal to 4.8 into 10 to the power minus 18 coulomb. If so, then fine. We can talk about NE. So I want to know En. So N is equal to Q by E. From this formula, I can write N is equal to Q by E. If that is true, then I can write here 4.8 into 10 to the power of minus 18 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. So it is very clear to you that this is going to be minus 19 and 18 are gone. So you are left with 1 minus here, and 1 nothing is left here. So it will turn to 4.8 by 1.6 into 10 to the power only 10, because this becomes 10 to the power minus 1, so it will go there and it will become 1. Now if you get rid of these 2 points, 16 and 48 will go very nicely. How it will go? 16 and 48, just forget about decimal number. Quick calculation should be in your hand, so you can simply call it to be 16 and 48, and quickly you can calculate this, like suppose say you can consider this to be, just a minute, this is 16 and 48, so easily we calculate 48 by 2 and this by 2, it will be 8, and this will be quickly anyone can calculate in any method, there is no harm in that. So this is with 2 and 4, 24, and 8 fours are 24, 8, yes, 8 and 4, so this is going to be 4, so 8, this is 2 4, and I'll do for typical slow weak calculators, because you cannot use calculator in that case, and you have to use it very quickly, and that process should be very slow. So this is my 8, and this is 2, and this is 12, and now this is 3, and this is my 3. I could have done it together only, but now decimal symbol I just cannot. All are both one decimal, so it's all the same. Decimal is here or not, it's all the same thing. So this is going to be 30, because this 0 will come here, this whole number, so this is possible. So answer will be in this case yes, it is possible. Now see, let's see this one. Same thing, only 1.2 10 to the power values are being changed. So let me go to the same calculation in a similar way. 4.8 into 10 to the power of minus 20 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. So here we have some problem. Here this is gone and this is left only with 1, only minus 1, and this I can, as like this I can directly do, this is 3 16s are 48, so 3 into 10 to the power of minus 1. This is going to be 0.3, so fractional number. So no, this is, in this case you have to say no, because n cannot be fractional number. This is not fractional number, but this is fractional number, so this is not possible. So we have some conclusion that n should be always positive number, it cannot be fractional number. Now comes with another type of numericals. See, numericals are going to give you revision. So far what I have revised with in the name of numerical, I have revised a type of our charge induction, induced charge, where even gold leaf electroscope is also considered, which is not in syllabus, I think so, because so many years I have never seen any question from this, and in syllabus they specifically don't mention anything. But latest NCERT book is considered to be also syllabus, not this COVID-19 changes, but normally it is considered to be syllabus. So very often they can ask you questions on even gold leaf electroscope. This is one type. Another type is the ebonite rod with glass rod and these and that, this list, that is also we discussed. Another type we discussed the quantization, Q is equal to any, and in that we found if Q is equal to any, we have to follow strictly the rule of Q equal to any, and we have to find out either N or Q or. Now another thing, before going to this type of numerical, another formula which is not so clearly discussed in this context of CBSE NCERT book, but it is asked, this type of questions indirectly discussed and asked very often. Surface integral, surface charge density, sigma. This is surface charge density, means if you have a body like a sphere, suppose say, if you have a sphere like this and of radius r, so there can be a question that like in the previous one we did two spheres of radius r, so area, surface area of this is our 2 pi r, is the surface area of this sphere, and volume of this sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So given radius of a sphere, you can easily find out the volume and also surface area. In case they provide you charge in this, if they provide you charge, then charge sigma, we consider sigma is equal to, sigma is surface charge density is equal to charge by area, Q by A. This is very famous formula. Sigma is equal to charge by area, and you also have rho in NCERT. In little later they discussed all these things, and this is also Q by volume charge density, and this is surface charge density. So for a spherical structure, if Q is the charge in the sphere, then you can say sigma is equal to, you can simply say here, sigma is equal to Q by area is 2 pi r, 2 pi r square. So that is my area, and the volume charge, that is rho, is equal to Q by 4 by 3 pi r cube. We are going to use, suppose the example I gave you, that we have two spheres of radius r, and we are left with, I think so, 21 charges here, and we said one is having 10 in previous sum and other is having 11 charge, and they ask you, instead of asking this ratio, they also ask you find the surface charge density of both the spheres. So if radius r is given with some value, then you can easily find out the radius, area, or they can ask you volume charge density also of both the spheres. So you can easily say find out sigma or rho from this the previous sum. Now I am going to use the same concept here, similar concept here. I won't rub off this sigma is equal to, but others I can, for the time being, I can rub off. I need some space, so I'll rub off them to show you. Now if you have a problem like this, the one they are showing you, that a sphere of radius 5 centimeters, see radius is given, so volume or area is known of the sphere by the formula. If a sphere of radius, I am solving question number 3, if the volume, if the sphere of radius has got a charge of, if a sphere is having a charge of 5 centimeter radius, is having a charge of 31.41 mean microcoulomb, mu, that is 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. So I can simply write here 31.31 into 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. Now very often students face a question that how come right now, sir, you say there is nothing, it cannot be in fraction, how come? This is a charge Q, not M. This is Q they are talking about. So area also you can easily find out. They have solved the problem in hint, so I have considered this to be 31.5, because sigma is equal to Q by A, and A is 4 pi, sorry, I did a mistake in this formula. This is 4 pi r square is the area. This is circumference actually. 2 pi r is circumference. 4 pi r square is the formula for area of a sphere. So this is I have taken 4 pi r square. So if I have taken 4 pi r square, this is for circle actually, 2 pi r square, and for sphere it will be 4 pi r square, and for circumference it is 2 pi r, circumference of a circle, 2 dimension. As soon as 3 dimension comes, we have area, and that becomes r square in that case. So this is my value, and we ultimately get this value. Now again another type, two spheres have radius proportional, indirectly they are saying. So two spheres, a radius they are saying r1 and r2 is having a ratio of 1:2. Compare the surface charge density of charge if ratio of the charge in them. So what they have given, one thing, r1 by r2 is equal to 1 by 2 they have given, and also they have given q1 by q2 is equal to 1 by 2. If so, then you have a very important relation, sigma 1 is equal to q1 by q1 by the formula 4 pi r1 square, and you have sigma 2 that is equal to q2, that is 4 pi r2 square. That means sigma 1 by sigma 2 is equal to, sigma 1 is q1 by 4 pi r1 square, and this is reverse of this because down, so this becomes 4 pi r2 square by q2. So from this I'll take it here because there is no space. I'll take it here, So if I go for the understanding of this, so sigma 1 by sigma 2 is equal to q1 by q2, which is given actually, which is equal to q1 by q2, and this is becoming my 4 pi gets cancelled here. 4 pi gets cancelled, so you're left with this is into r1 square, up is r1 square and down is r2 square. R2 square. So r1 square whole square will be equal to 1 by, so this will be, and this is going to be q1 q2. q1 q2 is 1 by 2 into r1 square is 1 by, what you get here, this is r1 by r2. So r1 by r2 is 1 by 2 whole square. I think so I've done some mistake. R2 goes up. Yes, R2 is up. R2 is up here. Yes, I've done a mistake. R2 is up, R1 is down. So it becomes 2 by 1. 2 by 1 whole square. So it becomes 4 by this into 4 by, now I'll write here, sigma 1 by sigma 2 is equal to 1 by 2 into 4 by 1. So this is gone, this becomes 2. So it becomes 1 is to the reverse way. Sigma 1, what they asked you? They asked the sigma, surface charge density of the ratio. So sigma 1 and sigma 2. I have here sigma 1 and sigma 2 is going to be, upper one is 2 because 2 by 1, this is becoming 2 by 1. So this is 2 by 1 because this is 2, I can write this is 2 divided by 1. So this is 2 is 2 is my answer. This is how the problem is solved. Now another type of problem which is bit complicated, you have to handle it carefully. One sum is enough to make you strong. I have taken a solution because I must make you understand this question. This type of question also helps you in chemistry. They are asking you, listen very carefully, though it is solved here, but nothing will be understandable if I don't listen carefully. Calculate the charge of an iron particle of mass 224 milligram. So an iron particle of 224 milligram is given to you. 224 milligram is given to you, and if you have 224 milligram, then if you have 224 milligram iron whose atomic weight is 56 and atomic number is 26, this is my atomic weight, you have to remember this, and this is atomic number. Balance also will depend on this. So what we know, if we take 56 gram, remember, if we take 56 gram of iron, that will be having 6.6 Avogadro's number. Instead of taking 6.1 and all, I can take directly 6 into 10 to the power of 23 numbers of atoms in it. This is Avogadro's number. Therefore, by unitary method, I can say 1 gram of iron will be having how much? 6 these numbers divided by 56 numbers, 1 gram of atoms, number of atoms, 1 gram of iron. Therefore, 224 milligram, so milli is 10 to the power of minus 3 gram of atom will be having 6 into 10 to the power of 23 into by 56 into 224 into 10 to the power of minus 3 number of atoms. This is first thing you are going to find out. So that means I can simplify this further. This will turn to, as they have calculated here, I won't go for any confusion. There is no need to calculate again. This is going to be this way. Now, without saying anything, they are saying this amount whatever you have, 24 into 10 to the power of 20 atoms, is in this amount of iron. Now, how many electrons are there? If you want to know, one atom has got 26 electrons, therefore number of electrons in these atoms, that means this much, 224 milligram of iron, number of electrons will be equal to 24 into 10 to the power of 20 into 26. These are number of electrons in the amount of 224 milligram of iron, this amount. Now it is said that 0.101% is removed. So 0.01% means divided by 100 is removed from what? From this 24 into 10 to the power of 20 into 26. So this value is actually how much? 0.01%. That means if this is my total amount, this is going to give you 624 into 10 to the power of 16 electrons, E. So what they ask you? The charge. So charge is equal to Q equal to Ne. So if you go for that, we can simply talk Q is equal to Ne, Q equal to Ne. So N is given, N is known to you, E value is, En is this, E is known to you, 1.6, and you can easily find out the charge. That will be the total charge. So this is one of the type of questions that can be asked other than Coulomb's law. Today I discussed only those topics which are not included in Coulomb's law, because as soon as Coulomb's law starts, the main chapter, main topic starts. These are extra. So you have to be ready with these concepts, and all the best.